below 50%, I'm not going to waste my money. I wouldn't want you to waste your money.
And that's what I said to her, but she's
But you have to be clear
to know.
percentages, though. If you
Right.
say if it's less than 50%, because
Got
she's
it.
thinking, well, what does that mean? I'm
Right.
like she's not knowing, so
Right.
that's the thing. If
Got
you
it.
give
Less than
hard
50%.
statistics,
Got
if it's
it.
less than 50%, what I decide is I'm not going to waste my money. And most people, they don't care because they want that tooth. If
Right.
you're that kind of person that you have
And
to
that's
have
what
your
I
own
said.
tooth,
If you're the type of person that you need your own tooth, then you're gonna do that and save the tooth, but you know that in the long run it's probably going to fail and you're
no,
probably
it's going to be
implant.
percentage-wise, just like what happened. Just remind her
Right.
where she was.
50% chance.
Less
then
than
it's going-
50%
it's
chance.
going to fail.
Whereas if you had to pull the tooth 100% of the time, and I use, this is a
Right.
woman that wants clarity.
Yes.
100% the infection will be gone. You will
Right.
never have a problem. And when we put the implant in, for the rest of your life, you might not ever have to worry about that tooth
Right.
versus the other way. Which direction are you leaning? Then I go, which direction are you leaning towards? I don't let them say, let me think. I said, which direction are you leaning towards? And she said, I'm thinking leaning, that's probably the smart. And then they usually lean towards what I say, and I go, and I say,
That's the
that's
smart.
probably the smart thing to do. I would do the same. I don't let her, I don't say, this is what I would say. I say, like, I like to save money, I like this, but then I don't say what I would do.
Right.
But then when they do what I would do,
Then you say that that's what I
and
would
then
do.
they're like, "Oh, I feel good here." Now he's videotaping me because he wants me to instead of me going to a different person
Say the same
and
thing.
explaining things.
Got it.
So, and then when you go to the front desk, if you since is the husband still coming or they're going out of network? So this is the other thing. Now I know you're worried about insurance. Whether insurance is not going to cover any of this.
Right.
So that means whether we're in network or out, she's going to realize whether we're in network or out of
It's gonna
network,
be the
you're
same
going to
cost.
pick the person you want.
Right.
It's not going to be a matter of
Because
cost
she's already
anymore.
had the crown. Insurance is not going to cover the crown. Insurance is not going to cover
Right,
the
and you don't have to
implant.
tell her this. She'll know
Right,
that. She'll
right.
figure it out. But you can tell her that insurance won't cover any of this because it's implants and they usually don't. But
Right.
what I would suggest, Nina, could you start from now on, have the front desk check to see if any of the insurances cover implants? And even if they do cover implants,
Because I think that there was like one that does
Okay.
or something. We were talking about this yesterday, that one covers implants.
all right, even if
remember
you,
that?
She was fine. She knew just the crown itself. She knew because she already had it replaced before, so she knew that insurance wasn't going to cover any crown portion, regardless. If
but
it
she
was-
thought the root canal
But
was.
the root canal and the
No, see, that's why, and nothing will be covered.
Covered,
And the
right.
best thing to do is actually to pull the tooth, which you decided to do.
Right.
So now the next stage would be implants. And because you just had the baby, this is my suggestion. And then they're like, go ahead, because now you sound really smart. They're gonna be, yeah, what's your suggestion? Because now you're now a friend. I would suggest that you have the tooth pulled as soon as possible because right now you have an infection and your body's never 100% to take care of your baby.
Right.
Once you pull that tooth, the infection is gone, you're gonna feel so much better. But what I
Right.
want you to do is put extra bone in there so that when you decide to get the implant, you're all set.
Right.
Or you can do both at the same time. It's really up to you and it depends on your budget.
Mhm.
And what's great is that Nina can work out the numbers for you so you get what you want.
Right.
Does that help? And then I always go, does that help? So I'm always helping. I'm not telling, I'm helping and guiding. And that's how you want to sound. And that's how you should be.
Right.
You know, I'm not telling people to fake it. You should really be that
Right.
person.
Well, that's how I felt with her too. Like
Good.
I wanted to help her, but I knew that she needed to make the decision.
Yeah.
You know what
So
I
the
mean? She's that
quickest-
type of person that she
Right.
needs to make the decision on what she wanted to do, and I knew that at that moment. You know, she has a child. She's just 3 months. She has her. They're not newly married. I know that they still have the conversations together.
Right.
And the husband wasn't there, and
Right.
it was just like one of those things where I'm like, okay, you could do it. She wanted to know, so you could do the root canal or you can do the implant. And then she was like, well, I need to think about which one I want and what in terms of budget. Like
Yeah. When somebody has to think
husband.
about which one they want, they're still fuzzy on it. So you need
Yeah.
to give the
More
biggest thing.
clarity.
So the self-correction is this. Start using, I mean, it's not exactly 50%, it's not, but it's close to it. And to me, if it's going to help that patient make the right decision, I'm going
Right.
to say it that way.
Right.
So some people have an issue with that. I don't. Because I know it already failed. And you as a dentist and me 27
Right.
years, that's going to fail within 3 more years.
Right, exactly.
And
It's not gonna
$3,000, whatever, is down the drain.
Right.
So give clear percentage. To me, if it's less than 50%, I'm not going to waste my money on something.
Right.
But some people are different. You might be that
Right.
person. So your decision is: would you like to redo the root canal, and then take the risk, or would you like to pull the tooth, be fully out of infection, and then get the implant? That's really up to you. What are you leaning towards? And
I
then
like
you
the
get
what are
the
you
answer.
leaning towards, and that's
Yeah.
what I did wrong, where I didn't say what are you leaning towards. She said I just need to discuss it with my husband.
Yeah.
So I should have been what
What are you leaning
towards?
towards? Because she's
Right.
just going to discuss what she
Right.
wants anyway,
Right.
and you want to know.
Yeah.
Or she's going to explain it to the husband, and she's
And then they're gonna be
They're like, wait,
I got
what are
it.
you talking
So
about?
what are you leaning
Leaning
towards? And
towards.
then that's the smart
And then-
decision.
Then she made her decision.
Right.
All she has to do is go home, tell her husband
Right.
it's going to cost this much, and I want to do it. And he's going to say no, go somewhere else cheaper. And he goes, but I really like this girl. I trust them. And in fact, look at all my dental problems. This person I trust. So
Right.
they advocacy but everyone
Right.
once you got the person, it doesn't matter how much. It doesn't matter. All that is excuses.
Right.
Because when you made a decision and you're married, even if I'm married, I made a decision. I'm going to talk my husband into saying yes anyway.
Right. Yeah.
And even if I'm a man, same thing. So so just know that when somebody says I need to think about it, it's because you didn't do a good job in explaining it.
Right.
That's how we do well. That otherwise we stop trying, and we stay the same.
Right.
We never get better, right?
Yeah.
Right. So on percentages,
Okay.
you have a decision to make. What are you leaning towards? Great. And then give a really clear transfer.
Yeah.
And then say, when do you think your husband is going to come back?
Right. Well, he was scheduled for today, so that's where we thought, okay,
Well,
it was gonna be. They'd have and they were gonna have the conversation. She said, I'm gonna call the insurance company. We'll call you tomorrow. And our husband was coming back today. So
Okay.
that was kind of like we're like, okay.
So if she's
But-
calling the insurance company, she's leaning towards the root canal.
I think she was trying to see if the insurance company was going to pay for the implant. She was going to see if her
No,
insurance
that's why
would
I
do the
s-
implant.
Okay, that's why I said moving forward, could
Right.
you just make sure
But
all the
I
girls
think
at
that's why she called the insurance company, because she wanted to see what they would cover and if they would cover the
Could you just make sure that all the girls at the front check to see if insurance covers implants on all our patients, so we know, because we're going to be doing more of that. But the thing is, even if the insurance company pays for the implant,
They
you're
still
going to
are gonna
max
pay
out.
out, right.
So it's the same thing. They're still going to pay us. So that's why I tell the patient that. And then what we'll try to do is we'll try to work something out for you. Will that help you?
Right.
So I always go. I know you want to try to save money, but in the end, it's not really going to matter. I want you to go where you feel most comfortable.
Right.
So if you've created that relationship, you still want to try to keep them in.
Right.
So the solution is know whether they cover beforehand.
Right. So that's
Like,
what we need
always.
to.
So that's why we're always going to include that, whether they covered or not.
Right.
So you can already have that conversation.
Right.
And if they do, tell them whether it is, you're going to max out anyway.
Right.
So it won't matter whether we're in network or
Or
out of network. And in fact, what I'm going to try to do for you is I'm going to make it so that it's affordable by working out a payment plan. Does that help? And then they'll usually say yes, and then
Perfect.
do that.
Okay.
Okay?
Like that.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have more and more of that. I wish I had that conversation with Dr. Davison because he gets a lot of the implant consults. And then when you do that, you don't have to do the implant. You're gonna refer to Dr. Ruff,
Right,
and then
that's
Ruff
yeah,
does it, and then
the
you do the
implant.
crown, and then you know what
Right.
to do.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.